Welcome to a black screen. I'm gonna start the game soon, White Knuckle. I just wanted to yap a bit first, or maybe I yap before or while I start the game. Anyway, what I had on my mind is that I've got a new mouse. I've plugged it in like 5 minutes ago. I've not used it for much of anything, and I am really quite curious to see how it does and how I do with it. And I figured, well, I might as well play something very mouse heavy to try it out. And this is the first game that came to mind. There are, of course, other games I like to play, but this one seemed sensible. Um, oh yeah, the mice. I used to have a Logitech G500. What was it? 7 or 2? G500. It's G500 something Hero. And it's an okay mouse, I guess. But like all Logitech hardware nowadays, it dies as soon as it thinks it can get away with it. The first Hero mouse I had lasted for just like half a month before the warranty would have expired. As for the replacement mouse, which I got for free, that one only lasted 1 year. So overall, it's not like I'm not I'm not enthusiastic, but I also didn't really expect much, especially since that whole G35 headset thing, which is made of the most brittle plastic you can imagine. I need to get like a proper screwdriver. I'm trying to mess with a weight, because this mouse came with a bunch of weights I can put in it, and I thought, hey, maybe putting a few weights in it is neat. But I need like a screwdriver for that, and I don't have one. And now I've got like the screw half screwed in with my hands, and now it's just sort of looking out the bottom of the mouse, which isn't gonna make for a very good mouse experience. Can I get it back out? Oh, I guess it's, well, without tools, it's not... Well, it's almost in. Let's just, turn it a little bit more. So, the new mouse that I got is a Corsair, of some sort. It's got an aluminum casing. It was on sale, so it was a little cheaper. And, I'm really quite curious to see how well I do with this new and different mouse. Okay, this is... Maybe I should pause the recording and grab a screwdriver or something. I'll be right back. Well, I found something like a screwdriver, by which I mean a single cent coin. It'll do. Now, what the new mouse is, it's a Corsair M65 RGB Ultra, which, well, I wanted a durable and reliable mouse that sort of got a vague button setup that's similar to the Hero that I had before. Now, at first glance, I was impressed with the, the aluminum casing and everything. I do like that. It seems sturdy. But then I turned it over and I found out this thing is mostly made of like, I mean, sure, it has an aluminum sort of chassis sort of thing going on, but it's got these huge plastic wings, and I don't know how fragile they are. Like, I don't really know how I would describe them. I'd have to put like a picture, but the mouse from below, you can definitely tell, like, the rear half is only a third as wide as the forward half, or the rear third maybe is only a third as wide as the rest of the mouse, and the back left and back right of the mouse bottom is instead covered up, where you touch it with your hand, by plastic panels that are just sort of loosely there, which honestly, I don't know if that's ideal. So I'm gonna hopefully not mess with OBS. Okay, I've got white knuckle selected. So I'm gonna insert the weights, see how that works. If the mouse ends up being too heavy, I can remove them after all. But yeah, overall, first impressions, it seems pretty flat. I'm not sure if I dig the plastic. I like that it's flat, I suppose, though I'm used to a more bumpy mouse than this. You know, usually for mouse reviews, people actually show the hardware they're using or talking about, but I'm new and different, and I don't do that. Okay, that's another weight screwed in. If they didn't want me to use a single cent coin for this, they wouldn't have made this thing so wide. So the RGBs on this thing, I'm honestly not too sure how much I care about them. It has like an RGB lamp at the rear that sort of lights behind it, which, I mean, I guess that's cool. And the mouse wheel is glowy. I suppose a glowy mouse wheel is nice. This one also isn't made of this weird metal-y, or no, it wasn't even metal. This weird plasticky stuff that the Hero Logitech mouse was made out of, because for some reason my hands have the unpleasant tendency to just dissolve any and all things they touch, similar to my feet, honestly. So, things just degrade and melt, and I hope it won't be the same for this mouse. I'm reasonably confident that aluminum will hold up, but who knows. The actual things of this mouse that I'm touching aren't aluminum. It's like the mouse casing or something. It's the internal chassis. It still has this outer body made of plastic. Anyway. I picked a Corsair mouse also because I have this nice, fancy Corsair keyboard. And so far the Corsair keyboard has never done me wrong, so okay, I do like it more with the weights in already. So let's just play this game, which is sort of mouse heavy, and see how that goes. I'm gonna play without all but one cheat. Yes, I'm gonna cheat. I'm sorry. I'm gonna pick the one that makes the goop not appear, or stops it from moving, which functionally does the same thing. Mostly just because I want to have some time to get used to this new mouse. And well, this is a pretty mouse-heavy game, like I said. Like I could have played Warframe or something, but the thing with Warframe is, at the point at the game at which I am, I can play most of my characters and bring most of my weapons and... Huh? What do you mean? Well, I guess I live here now. I guess this is the point where the goo gets me. I'm so good at video games. So, mouse keys are pretty flat. Pressing them requires very little input on my end. They're very light touches. I don't know how much I like that. I do have very shaky and twitchy fingers and hands, which is not generally a good thing. This also means that I'm prone to touching keys and buttons and stuff that I don't really want to touch. Maybe people call that fat-fingered, but I have actually pretty thin fingers. Maybe it's because fat is slippery? Maybe that's why. Anyway, I'm not sure how much of a problem that's gonna be, but I'm worried that I'm gonna be pushing a lot of mouse buttons without really meaning to. Climbed 50 meters. What's another mouse game? I guess Mordhau, but I really don't want to deal with that game's community right now, or ever. Like, if there was a group of people that play the game and are chill and not like your typical bigoted, unpleasant gamer types, then maybe I'd give it another play, but...
May malfunction. Proceed with extreme caution in all areas.
We only have so much time on this horrible Earth. I do not want to spend the time I have playing a game with people who play Hitler dress up. I'd really rather not. Fortunately, it seems like most trolls have wandered off to chivalry from what I've heard, so they're not infesting Mordhau anymore. Great. I remember when women as playable characters were new to Mordhau, and there were a bunch of people who would dress as weird naked women with weird body proportions, and they gave them only like frying pans as weapons, and they usually just sort of bonk teammates and hit the ground and act like idiots. I would usually just kill them, no matter on what team they were, because you're so funny, haha, funny woman, hee. Anyway. Good thing that team killing is a feature in that game, because it's funny, and it lets you murk useless and unpleasant teammates. There's nothing greater for making your displeasure hurt than turning someone's skull to mush. In a video game, of course. As anyone who might have played Mordhau would have known, it's might know it's a very bloody, gory, violent sort of game. And typically I kind of like bloody, gory, violent type of games. It's just the context is important. Like, I cannot stand Corpse Party or anything adjacent. I really like, I mean, Ultra Kill's pretty cool, but that's pretty simple stuff. Yeah, I like Treepang 2 a lot. I like Mordhau.
Elevated humidity levels detected in Silo 92. Dry goods containment integrity may be compromised.
Like, don't make me partake or witness the death of cute, friendly people or unpleasant people, or just... Like I said, context is important. I'm not sure how the context is quite yet. It's a bit difficult to words. Maybe if I can think of some more examples. Like, Diablo 2 is a mixed bag, because on one hand, I do like bloodying demons to bits. And on the other side, the game has a ton of weirdly snuffy adjacent nonsense with dead rogues in Act 1 everywhere. Like, why did you make that? Did these people have some kind of dead woman gourd fetish thing? Let's not talk about that. Diablo 2 is a weird game. Mordhau has a strange player base, or... Well, as you'd expect for these medieval fighty sort of games. I don't know why they attract these kinds of people. It's not like they actually care about history in any actual, like, shape or form. Like, they care about what their funny mouthpiece, John, racist, says what happened in the past, but... Heaven forbid someone tries to tell them something that they do not believe in. Like, to them, it's like maybe more of a faith. Not a... What is this even? I don't... That's a person? Like, it's more of a faith thing than an actual, like, knowledge or study. Anyway, those people shan't occupy this video any longer. Instead, let us chat about, I'm just gonna keep yapping about anything, really. This is my podcast. Video... What the fuck?! I don't know what that was about. Exploding cockroaches? Seriously? Why? What's the point? Why does this spin? Nope. Right.
Security clearance alpha no longer valid. All personnel classified under alpha protocols were presumed missing.
Okay. Yeah, right. So there's a bunch of interesting or non-interesting. There's just a bunch of things I could talk about, like how weird it is to see younger people get into video games. Just saying younger people irks me. Like I was young a few years ago. Now I'm what, the jaded person that just looks at how the world and the well, let's just more talk about more video games. Video games are the safer topic, let's say. Look at how the video game market and art and stuff developed and how it changed. Looking at all them rich people being promoted to comically high positions in which they really don't belong because they're only qualities that they can make money by any means necessary. That's really a quality? I don't think so, but
Emergency.
whoever promoted them
Elevator
probably
system
does.
malfunction. Do
Which
not
is all
use
what really
lights.
mattered for that
See
context.
alternate evacuation routes.
Oh hey, a break room. So you get stuff like Bullfrog and Lionhead, no, or Raven being turned into what? Slaves in the Call of Duty mine. Like there's a whole bunch of potential and just. They don't care about video games as an art. They only want to make $1 trillion. Preferably by squeezing everything they possibly can out of like every single player that plays their game ever. But now it's a live service thing. While they disregard... Oh, what? What do you mean? Well, they disregard the fact that live service games typically are huge time sinks, so they expect you to play how many of these live service games, and they keep adding more, and I'm wondering, like... So you're expected to do the dailies and weeklies and battle passes and whatever in how many games exactly, and then you spend money on each of them, and then you have negative money, and you buy the loot boxes and do gambling, and yeah... Rather not.
Reminder. Regular maintenance.
Of course, indie games still exist, and smaller publishers, I suppose.
62%.
Do like my independents and my publishers that haven't succumbed to the we have to have all of the money, not just enough money, not just there isn't such a thing as enough money for some people. Like, you'd think, I have made $1 billion or €1, then I'm good and happy and fun, and I can live the rest of my life in ridiculous wealth and whatever. But no, there isn't like a goal. I don't know why they need that much money. The last, it's not like they can take it with them once they perish. What are they gonna do? Their leaderboard? Oh no. Anyway, let's not talk about death. Ugh. It's another non-very video-appropriate topic. What is the video-appropriate topic? I mean, it's my video. I can talk about whatever I want. But what do I want to talk about? I like elves and goblins. Those are cute. Kinda depends on the elf and goblin variety, though, because... I mean, some of them are really mean and rude and murdery or racist or do other bad sorts of things. I do not like those. I'm more of the, I like snuggly, friendly creatures. I think humans can also be snuggly, friendly creatures, but a lot of them decide not to be a lot of the time, and that's kind of sad. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. Yahoo! What? Chair? What happened to the chair? I guess the chair eating soup has done its thing. Well, the new mouse seems to work fine. Not having any issues with it. Like, I've been thinking, if I actually had the ability to concentrate for more than a minute, if that, what would I do? And if I made videos, for instance, like serious videos, what would I make? Just generic gameplay? Like, I could, but it's not like I'm particularly good at any one or other game. I made a couple guide sort of things for Lunacid. I think people like those. I do like being helpful. But there was really only so much I could accomplish with that, especially since there's only so much of Lunacid. And it's not like I'm the supreme knowledge expert on that game. I just figured out a couple of things and decided to share them. Like, I figured maybe I could make videos where I talk about old games, because I learned a lot about old video games from the funny AVGN guy, though probably not as much as I could have learned if he was more like a genuine review kind of guy, instead of this thing he actually does, which is... honestly, I'm not sure. It's not actually critique of any sort, it's just... I don't know, it's entertainment. But like, something that covers old video games and actually like shows off the games that I think are worthwhile and good and nice. So, oh yeah, I talked about the young generation earlier. That was sort of what I was getting at. Talk about old games that they might not know about because they weren't existed back then. Yep. Like, imagine you are born and then people never tell you about the cool games you missed because you weren't born yet. Can you imagine how much of a bummer that would be?
No leaks detected.
So yeah, I considered making something like videos where I just talk about decent old games, or good old games if you will, haha. Or just, you know, a game doesn't have to be good to be memorable or worth playing. It's just that they typically have to be, but some games are difficult to really... It's difficult to give a game like, say, Black and White proper judgment if it is good or bad, because it's just a wacky niche sort of thing in a weird genre that's kind of difficult to articulate. So what genre is Black and White, and is it good in the genre? Is it good in general? Like, I think the game is okay, but like, I wouldn't claim the game is like, what is it good? Is it worth playing? It's kind of a... It's an acquired taste, that's for sure. I don't like you. Go away, radio. Though there are old games that have more broad appeal. Like, I think... Oh, no. Games like Sacrifice might have decent appeal to people. Oh dear, both of these are pretty good. You know what? I feel like having more fast and not having to put up with teeth or anything similar, so I can just talk instead. I like talking and I like climbing in peace. Maybe horror games aren't really my genre. I mean, they aren't, I can tell you that much.
Severe elevator malfunction detected. Avoid elevators until further notice. Emergency evacuation route through drainage system has been opened.
Pipe works. I sure hope it does. Rightio. So, could make videos about games that are old and that I like, but like, what do I have to say about them? Do I have any qualifications that give me like any good insights? Do I have industry experience? No, I've just been video gaming for all of my life, but that doesn't mean I'm like knowledgeable. I mean, I'm a little knowledgeable maybe, but I'm not like an expert in any field. I'm like interested and stuff, but I don't actually know anything. Like, what sort of great wisdom could I bestow upon people that makes it worth watching my videos over anyone else's? So how do people make so many funny video essays with all the video editing anyway? Doesn't that take like forever? Do people just spend that much time on their videos? Seems like more effort than I can really be putting up with. I guess you can hire an editor, but like, ugh, production, money, ooh, sounds scary. I do have respect for like people who make their own stuff. Well, it's like a general thing. Some people make bad stuff, not like in a artistically bad, but morally objectionable. I do not have respect for those, but that should probably go without saying. Point being, to make quality things, you have to spend time and learn skills and make effort. And I have no skills, and I'm sort of allergic to effort, so I make cheaty white knuckle gameplay videos instead, apparently, and yap over them, say things that no one's gonna listen to, which probably for the best. It's not like I'm really saying anything decent over here. Great noises. Friend. Friend.
3, 2, 1.
I remember this room, sort of. I definitely remember not liking it. Right. No. But yeah, I think there is a place for a like a channel or a medium or media thingy, a source for just worthwhile games that are a little bit older. But that, like, as a specific thing. I know there's some people like, say, Ross's Game Dungeon, who does funky games a lot of the time. Or Mandalore Gaming, where he also does a lot of new games. It's more of a, here's a game that's old and maybe worth your time. It's not like every game just because it is good in some artistic way, or because it has some sort of merit in the genre, because it was genre defining or had some great impact on this or that. Just because of that it's actually palatable to a modern audience, which in some games aren't. Some games just didn't age well at all. And sometimes there's questions worth asking, like, is it reasonable, or is it fair to modify an old game to make it palatable to a modern audience? Because that would sort of mess with the original experience, right? You wouldn't get the same thing that people used to have. Instead, people get Age of Empires Definitive Edition. But that's like, as a game, it hasn't really changed. It's sort of like if I made a new Black and White and I made it so you could use easy hotkeys on your keyboard to cast spells instead of doing weird gestures on with your mouse that work basically never. Like, yeah, that would be an improvement probably, but it wouldn't really be the same game anymore. Like, I think when you deal with game development and development history and how many genres and just games in general changed and evolved, you can learn and see about missteps and how some games did some things right, how many games did things wrong, what kind of trends stuck around, which ones didn't. Like, everything you see in a game, more or less, like, a lot of things are conscious decisions that someone made. Like, that this pause screen doesn't cover the whole screen, that this pause screen isn't a window, but free-floating buttons, that the pause kind of wobbles around. There's history. You can, I mean, okay, fair. A lot of people probably don't care about buttons. But I think just sort of looking at stuff and trying to figure out what were they thinking, did they have inspiration, where's the precedent? That sort of thing is kind of interesting, at least a little bit. Personally, I think the prettiest Windows was Windows 7. That's where my aesthetics lie. I like the funny arrow thingamajig. Ah, I miss Windows 7. I missed when companies didn't try and force a weird algorithm down our throats that isn't really good at anything. They are so deep in the sunk cost fallacy that they're desperate to come up with anything at this point. Oh, great. I like spears. Oh yeah, this is my podcast now, I've decided. I'm just yapping about whatever.
You are en route
I'm
to
such a
habitation
professional.
yellow.
What is a podcast
Please
anyway?
enjoy
I assume
your
that's a kind of
alert.
thing where someone just chats, like a
Security
radio sort of
locks
thing.
are still in place.
Except
Manual override
most
will be
people
recovered
don't
by
have like a weird kind of voice talking over them. Okay, the voice is gone.
deactivated.
So does this work? It does! I can do it. Easy. Tempted to generate more spears from nothing and figure out how to do this, but then again, doesn't let me pull these out. That's unfortunate.
Alert. Elevator security locks have been released.
What was I talking about? Oh yeah, podcast, I think. What is a podcast? What is a man? Miserable little pile of secrets! I wouldn't know. I'd have to ask one. Loud. It's a lot of tubes.
Warning. Class 7 fluid has been detected. For the safety of habitation yellow, airlock seal mechanisms must be engaged. Please contact your local control room specialist. Warning.
I do know
Control
that
specialist is missing.
the goop
Contacting administrator.
becomes faster
Warning. Administrator is missing.
the further away you are from it.
Emergency worker protection crews.
I can make
Error.
this.
No crews detected. Engage manual override. Alert. Airlock seal is priming. You have 30 seconds to return to the emergency personnel lift.
I have unpaused the goop. I wonder how quickly it is following me. I guess it doesn't matter now.
Deep substructure emergency. Pressure nominal.
I'm sure there's at least one person that subscribed to my channel that wishes the fight videos were back where I do not talk. Yeah. That's fair.
Announcement. Mandatory formidable supplement stations have been relocated to the main atrium. Compliance is monitored and enforced.
Ah, the good old hazardous holds. How hazardously they are held. This weird pillar thing is one giant OSHA violation. I wonder if this place gets more than Black Mesa or not. I would say Black Mesa gets more just because there's more of Black Mesa than there is of this game that people get to see. Yeah, if you were hoping for structured video commentary or gameplay, I don't know. I'm sorry. I can't really help it. I recommend looking for a different person that doesn't have weird attention deficit, whatever the heck, and is neurotypical. Definitely not me. Yay! Stab my hand. I suppose I'm not super confident in my content. Though, my content isn't... I mean, I know what sort of content is out there. I don't even know why anyone would be listening at this point. Maybe they just like the sound of my voice. That's something people tell me. I'm not very fond of it myself, but it's just a trans thing. Like, I think my father has a nice voice, especially when he tries to read things, though I have yet to get him to, like, read stories and record them. I think he could get a few people watching those. Oh yeah, the darkness. Elevator schuft. My hand's still kind of clawy on this mouse, even though it's so flat. I don't know if I'm really getting used to the shape of this thing yet. I just hope that... Well, it's just so loud that this new mouse is a little more resistant to the corrosive qualities of my skin. And yes, I do wash my hands, that's not the issue. sure that guy always is a great time at the dentist. And the teeth he's got. Oh yeah, content. Maybe I could put like a PNG of some character in the bottom of the screen and then have them wobble when I say things. I think people call that a PNG tuber. I find that more appealing than having a camera pointed at my face that sort of makes a little Muppet thing move. Like, as cute as being a Muppet might be, I don't like having a camera pointed at me ever. Someone called the elevator.
Seismic event detected in service shaft C.
Seismic event.
Access is offline.
You don't say. Rightio. I think I'm gonna make the game a little more quiet. Or a little less loud. I think that makes more sense. A little less loud. Makes more sense than more quiet. Having more of something less. Divisive. Ropes. You can use these to help with pits. Turns out having a double jump is nice, not only because it enables great mobility, but because you can escape some consequences of your mistakes. Not all mistakes, just the sort of ones you make while climbing. Die. Yum. Bye. What is over there anyway? Money. I don't think I'm gonna complete all of the game. Like, either I'm gonna die soon, or I just stop. I mean, I'm pretty much said my piece, whatever that was. I don't actually remember what I've said, and I'm not the type to watch my own videos back, so, yeah, I'm a responsible, quality video producing tuber. I used to have more wit, I used to have more joy, more jokes, more funnies. But all the joy and happy and funny in my life has been squashed by the harsh realities of life, such as lack of sales of my favorite beverage. If I had more money, maybe I would get one of those, the new Valve VR thing. It seems pretty interesting, but we don't even know how much it's gonna be yet, so... Can't really say, oh yeah, I'm gonna get that, or no, I'm not gonna get that, because technically I have negative money, so I shouldn't really be getting much of anything, so... yeah, but it's, you know, probably worth considering for danger.
Emergency. Deep substructure containment failure evident. Structural integrity 25%.
Oh, meat, my favorite. Actually, meat and gore, that reminds me of one of the earlier topics of this awesome video, that being Trepang. Trepang 2, which is a shooter kind of game, very bloody, very violent. That game had a very early demo sort of thing. I think it was on Steam when that game first came out. And of course, me being me, I made a little threadsy on the Steam discussion-y, which of course went about as well as you can expect, considering the Steam discussions are something of a cesspit at the best of days, and kind of just horribly awful, ever and always. And of course, as you can probably expect, people called me a troll and called me all sorts of nasty things, because I dared doing what exactly? I'm not sure. My crime is wanting to have a, like, female player character in a first-person shooter, I guess. How could I? How could I not? Remember, women do not have index fingers and can therefore not pull triggers. Or something. I don't know what their reasons were. I think they just called me a troll for some reason. Like, I'm genuinely asking a question, and then these people show up and say, you are a troll. Is this like reverse psychology, man? Are they trying to gaslight me? I mean, obviously they're just talking smack, but at some point they're talking such nonsense that I'm trying to figure out what their angle is, you know? Hey, dude. Sorry, I'm not buying. Go home. What a thrill. Supposedly there's a ladder somewhere. I wish I knew where. It would be very funny to climb a ladder forever.
Unexpected chemical reaction in Lab C5. Fume hoods are compromised. Proceed under Level 3 safety protocols.
Made it. Anyway, so I made this thread, some people talk nonsense, and eventually a developer actually responded to my awesome thread. And I think they said something among the... pills? Snacks? Okay. They said something along the lines of, yeah, we would like to add women as, or like a lady player character, that's like a cool thing, but we don't have the, like, resources for that. And maybe not the time, I don't know if they said the thing about the time, but they did say they didn't have the, resources to do that. And you know what? I believe them. They're a little indie studio, and, I'm pretty sure their budget was, like half a burger. Hi. Or something similarly absurd. So you know what? Fair. So months later, years actually, there's an advanced demo or whatever, because, in any case, they announced that Trepang 2 now has a publisher, Team 17. Ugh. I do have my own grievances with Team 17, but those aren't relevant right now. What's relevant is I figured, hey, maybe Team 17 is granting these people more resources to work with, so I can ask my question again, because now the conditions might have changed. And I checked, I asked them, and it's basically the same thing happened. I got a bunch of people calling me names and just being generally unpleasant. And later, a developer answered my post and said, I don't know why people are acting like this, but we don't have the stuff for that. Sorry. And then I said, yeah, okay, that's cool. Like, I didn't think it's a very realistic thing for them to add, especially later in development. Like, when I first asked, it was super early in development, relatively speaking. I don't think any of the story or plot was even recorded or written yet, or maybe it was written out, but it would have been probably not the biggest hassle to add a lady character player thingamajig. However, this is not the same for when I asked the second time, in which they would have been in deeper development, but like I said, they just announced that they were getting more money, so, you know, maybe worth asking. Like I said, they said the same thing that they said the first time. And I said, yeah, okay, cool. And that's mostly just the end of the story. I once recounted this awesome tale in but in a more like cohesive and short form. I told the story to some people just as a comment under a public Trepang studio video. No, not a video, it was an image post. They posted an image of like female 106, the player character. And I figured, hey, my weird, wacky little story is relevant, so I told that. And then someone messaged me, or well, commented to my message and said some awesome stuff like, wow, you're ridiculous and bad, and you deserve the hate, and how dare you ask for such things when the game is super finished, and that's absurd. They cannot add that late in development. And then I answered their post with, yeah, but I wrote those Steam threads when the game was early in development. And then they said, okay, yeah, then you should not have received hate, which I thought was really funny. Like someone being all, yeah, you deserve the hate and you suck. Then I tell them, yeah, but this isn't me commenting on a finished game asking for something. This is something completely different. And yeah, I guess they just were calm then. Cube. I like time.
Emergency. Deep substructure. Containment systems. Failing. Rerouting. Auxiliary mainframe power to emergency seals. Memory core deterioration no longer under control. Estimated time to total computational. Evacuate habitation. Yellow. All logs. Release.
Did I earlier get a disk, put it in a computer, and then I didn't use it in any kind of... whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway. Actually, I don't really like this part of the game. I don't know. I prefer the early part with the tunnel. That one's nice and straightforward, and I can go up the funny cylinder, and life is good.
Emergency. Deep substructure containing element.
I'm telling you, fall damage is a myth invented by Big Parachute.
Molecular reformation. Preset board overrides. Engage.
Watching that spear grow out of nothing was very interesting.
Failsafe devices.
Funny how that works.
Device located. Rerouting primary.
I'm
mainframe
looking
power.
forward to a nuclear explosion. I'm not gonna be able to see it well from here though. What even the point of the money? Is this even the right way? I don't know. I'm just gonna assume that it is. Gimme. Gimme, 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 gimme. No! How you doing, man? I don't think I have any video where I talk as much as I do in this one. Wow. And I say so many ridiculous things. Shouldn't be making videos, I should be, I don't know, curled up in my bed crying or something like that. That'd be a very productive use for my time. That was a joke. I don't usually bother going to bed to do that, and my tears have all dried up. In the sin war, I've lost my ability to express emotions, which is a lie again. And I've become numb and sad from the sadness in my heart, and it's given me ligma. And,
Emergency.
emergency.
Hazard classification.
User
7
death
confirmed.
imminent.
Closest operational nuclear failsafe. Habitation Lime. Armed. Interlocks open.
I'm sure setting off a nuke is a great idea. I'm surprised that the shockwave doesn't knock me off of this funny structure. I don't even know what the point is in setting off that nuke over there, because all the problems are behind me over there. Pretty sure the most optimal route is underneath this thing, probably. I cannot see. Well, I know I need to go that way. What's this guy doing here? Oh! Not today! Right, I was talking about the sadness or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I do feel a lot of stress all the time. Don't really know what to do about that. What kind of structure is this? I guess this is not a great route. Oh hey, I can find something to grapple. That's not what I wanted to do. What if you just looked away for a moment and I solved this situation? There we go. You can look again. I managed to get up here using no clip. I didn't really have to clip through anything though, so it's fine. They shouldn't call it no clip. More like no touch. Yeah, the computer is having a moment.
Defaults not found.
My computer when it have to install the Microsoft Windows update. I made it. Okay, now to climb the gross meat. Favorite. Yeah, that guy's here too, but oh no, doesn't seem that excited today. I'm just too sneaky. He does not know where I am. Can I jump this pit? No. I don't know why I would have been able to. But I cannot. No one's surprised. Didn't I struggle with this last time too? What if I didn't deal with that? You know, I should be playing something like Minecraft. Oop. And build a farm and live in a safe house away from any crapper and not be blown up and not have to climb a structure. I'm just a sad little creature with weak little fingers that are too weak for manual labor and a nose that will explode and try and make me smell dust, so you better not send me to the farm. Ah! And generally, I'm very useful. You should definitely keep me around in your house and give me food for free. I'm gonna tell you so many jokes. We're gonna be best of friends. Who am I even talking to? What am I talking about? Help me! I'm losing my mind! Haha, as if there had been anything left to lose. Guess I'm going on a ride. On a ride? I'm going for a ride. This flying whale-looking thing. Thanks for the ride, partner! You know, I could use another jump. But I don't want to look up what the thingy is called that gives me more jump. I do wonder if there are any humans left besides the one that I'm currently playing as. The dev should consider adding Technosite just as an upgrade you can get. That would be so funny. Become Evo-Framme. Gain Bulletium. I was about to joke that this might be the one situation where Excalibur's high jump might actually be good, but no. Bullet jump exists making that ability, if you even want to call it that, completely obsolete. Hi Bessie, what's up? Seen any good movies lately? I don't typically watch things. I prefer to read. Does that make me sound like a snob? I just get anxious when things move too much and are loud and I cannot easily pause them. It's easier to put something away and think about it if it's written down or in the shape of a comic. And also managed to not die terribly this time, but also I wasn't being chased by anything, so... Anyway, the new mouse seems to work just fine. Do I really want to upload this video? It's terrible. I'm gonna be cancelled for all of my very correct and based opinions. But what are they based on? I don't actually know. I make baseless claims. Sources? My sources that I don't know. Must have forgotten. Like so many things. Being able to remember? I cannot do that. My hardware is corrupted. Sorry, man. Oh yeah, the video is over now. You can leave. It's over. Goodbye. Bye-bye!